Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited about today's video. Today is kind of a chit chat video. I kind of want to start a new series. I just got this little sofa in our bedroom and I thought it'd be a fun place to film kind of more chatty videos, kind of more off the cuff videos, I guess you could call it. Today's video is a requested video. I've actually been requested this video for quite some time. A video on how I've managed to keep my weight off all these years. If you are newer to my channel, just a short story is, fitness and nutrition is a big part of my lifestyle. It's a big passion of mine, and it all started for me about 16 years ago when I lost about 40 pounds. I'm not going to go into the whole story on how I gained weight or how I lost weight because I did do a very long video on that about 3 years ago, which I will link down below. I also have a blog post that I wrote last year that is pretty vulnerable and pretty candid and pretty honest that I'm going to link down below for you as well. That'll give you some more insight into how I did it. This video is going to be more about how I keep it off, how I've managed to keep nutrition and fitness a big priority in my lifestyle, right? And how I stay motivated. So I asked you guys on Instagram to give me a lot of questions. I kind of want to chat a little bit about things I think that have helped me really just keep fitness and nutrition a priority in my life. I first want to say, you guys, I am not a nutritionist. I have had no formal education in nutrition at all, and I'm not a fitness expert. I've never taken a fitness or personal training class. I have no knowledge about this. This is solely just me sharing with you my experiences, what works for me. Take it for what that is. Also, I want to say, all of our bodies are so different, right? I mean, we respond to exercise and food so differently. It's such a unique thing. And so what works for me, it may not be something that works for you, or some people will kind of argue with what I say, what I do. Some people may say, oh, you shouldn't do that. You should do this or that. And I appreciate that. But you know what? This is what I enjoy doing, and this is how I've managed to kind of keep the size that I am, and I'm going to do it, I didn't mean that to sound rude or anything, but sometimes in my last video I talked about how I eat every 3 to 4 hours, and I got a couple comments saying, you really shouldn't do that. It's this bad for you, but yada, yada, yada. You should intermittent fast. You should give your body time. And you know what? I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that for everybody. I've been eating this way for 16 years and I've had no problem so far. And when I try and fast or go really long periods without eating, it's just not good for me because I get starving. I'm very active. I work out, anywhere from 4 to 6 days a week. And if I'm hungry, I believe I should eat, I believe that. So anyway, I just want to say that. So I respect everyone's points of views. But again, I'm not pushing my way on you. This is just what works for me. So I want to chat. I wrote down a couple things so I could stay on topic. I actually just filmed like 25 minutes of a video on this while I'm just sitting here chatting, and I realized I hadn't even gotten to your questions yet. So I'm redoing it because I don't want this video to be 45 minutes long. Maybe it'd be a good idea to do a live video on this topic. I think that would be fun. So I have bullet points. I'm going to try and stick to these, and then I'm going to kind of go through some questions that I got, okay? So first I want to say there's no magic pill. You guys hear that all the time, but it's really true. I don't really have any shortcuts or any secrets to share in this video. So if you're hoping for that, I'm sorry. You're just going to hear information that you've heard 100 times before. The two things that have really helped me kind of manage to keep the weight off are exercise and nutrition. No big surprise, you guys. Exercise, I love exercising. I do so on the low end 3 days a week, on the high end 6 days a week. I have a Peloton bike at my house that I love. It is so fun. I do usually 20 or 30 minute rides on that, at least that every day. On the weekends, sometimes I'll do a 45-minute ride. I love running outdoors. I love boxing. I recently started taking a boxing class here in Austin that is so much fun. It's called Knockout Austin. It's so fun. I've loved body step at times, step aerobics. I've loved kickboxing, weightlifting class. I've kind of tried to do it all. Spin classes are a lot of fun. I enjoy exercise. When it comes to nutrition, I generally eat pretty healthy. During the week, I am very good about eating every 3 to 4 hours and eating healthy meals with protein that is going to keep me satisfied and just give me energy and basically kind of keep my cravings at bay. I do have a really raging sweet tooth, and I really have no willpower. If it's in front of me, I'm like 9 out of 10 times I'm going to eat it. And the problem with that too is I won't just eat a little piece. I will eat way more than I should. So I try to limit that stuff in my house. you know, I have young kids, so Easter, Halloween, all of those times of the year, you know, it's just there. And, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to overeat during those holidays, and that's just kind of how I operate. Not something that I'm proud of, but I'm just being honest with you guys. I had a lot of questions about how do I curb my cravings and how do I fight off sweets, and I would be lying if I sat here and gave you all this advice. I'm not the expert on that, you know, I'm not. I am weak too, and you know, for me, I just try and limit it. You know, if I do it one night, you better believe that the next day, I'm not going to punish myself. I'm not going to starve myself, but I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to get back on track, and that's behind me now. You know what I mean? I'm not going to continue to go down that road. I really do look at every day as a new opportunity to clean it up and to eat healthy. I used to look at every Monday, oh, it's Thursday and I started eating bad, so let me just enjoy the rest of the weekend and I'll start back on Monday. No. I don't do that. If I fail and I fall off the wagon on Thursday, Friday, I pick it back up and I start right back where I started. So yeah, I think that that's kind of just kind of a tip in terms of like your point of view or your mentality when it comes to eating healthy. So yeah, my biggest weaknesses are sugar and just kind of binging or overeating that sugar when I do. And it's always a good reminder for me when I do, because I feel so terrible. Like I don't even feel good. You know what I mean? It's literally just such a short moment of satisfaction and enjoyment, followed by 24 hours of feeling physically drained. I have a food hangover. The next day I'm tired. I feel yucky. My stomach is not cooperating. I don't have energy. And I just try and remind myself, you know, this is not worth it. Like, why did I do this to myself, you know? And I think that feeling of a food hangover intensifies as I get older, you know? I feel like I used to be able to recover from stuff like that quicker, but these days, no. You know, I really look at the food that I eat as kind of fueling my body, and I know I'm pretty in tune with how food makes me feel. And, you know, I can almost feel that stomach ache or that sugar crash before I even put the food in my mouth, you know? I still do it, but at least I'm aware of it, you know? Okay, so eating every 3 to 4 hours is huge for me. That works really well for me. I know some of you guys might disagree with that, but I eat every 3 to 4 hours, and I try and eat a protein and a little bit of fat and a vegetable of some sort. So I feel like that those things really keep me satisfied. I would love to do a kind of what I eat in a day video. I think that'll be separate from this video, but if that's a video that you guys want to see, let me know in the comment section below, and I would definitely do that. Another thing I do is always having like healthy snacks available. I used to be really good at this before I had children. I would meal prep every week. I would cook my chicken, my sweet potatoes, my brown rice, my steak, whatever I was cooking, I would cook it for the week, and I would, you know, chop it all off. I would even measure my food. I don't do that now, but I had a food scale, and I would measure 3 to 4 ounces of my protein, half a cup of my rice. I don't do that anymore. I just don't have time for it. But I do still always have healthy snacks available. So what that looks like for me is an apple, almonds, a little thing of peanut butter, a rice cake with peanut butter. I've been really into eating cashew yogurt, so vegan yogurt. I'm not a vegan and I'm not a vegetarian, but I do think that dairy doesn't quite agree with me anymore, and so I'm trying to eliminate how much of it that I eat. So I like cashew yogurt. It might be a protein shake. I prefer protein shake and almond milk, but sometimes I'll just have a little packet of protein, and if I'm on the go, I'll just add water and I'll mix it that way. It doesn't taste super great, but at least it will keep me from getting to the point of being starving. You know, it's like an in-between snack. Protein bars, there are some clean protein bars out there that I will eat. So basically I try and have snacks on me at all times, because once I start to feel that little bit of hunger, I have to eat something quick. Otherwise, I'll just make poor decisions. So I always try and keep healthy snacks on me. Also, I always have water with me. I'm always drinking I always have something like this. I probably drink like 4 or 5 of these a day at least. I drink tons and tons of water. I think that also helps you, not to really trick your body to feeling full, but I don't know, it just, sometimes we mistake being really, really thirsty to being hungry. Also, water is just great for your body. We should all be drinking it anyway, right? In terms of fitness, so I work out, like I said, 3 to 6 times a week. Most of it is cardio. I really should incorporate more weight training into my routine. I used to do more of that, And I definitely know that my body was more lean and tighter and more toned then. There are definitely areas of my body that are softer than they used to be. But yeah, today, you know, I do what I love, and I love my spin bike, and I love running outdoors, and I love boxing. So I do those things. Doing the weight training right now is a little bit more of kind of forcing myself to do it. I don't really particularly love it. But I did build a little like gym in my bathroom, and I have some weights. I have a kettlebell, so sometimes I'll just get off my bike and I'll do about 15 minutes with my kettlebell or my weights. And if you want to see a video on kind of what I do at home, let me know too, because that would be a fun video to do. I can show you guys that. But that's kind of my workout routine. I do things I enjoy. Is it the best regimen to get the most optimal results? No, it's not. I know that if I did more strength training, my body would respond to it better. But you know what? For me, it's all about doing what I love and what I enjoy. And yeah, that's what I do, and that's what I promote. Again, if you have different goals though, like if I were trying to lose a lot of weight, I would kind of make some sacrifices. You know, I would create a plan that maybe I necessarily didn't love, but I knew was going to get me to where I wanted to be. Right now in my life, I'm happy with the way that I'm at. Could I lose a couple of pounds or be perfect and be toned everywhere? Sure, but I don't really want to do all the work that goes into looking like that. I've looked like that before and I wasn't happy then. I don't want to make the sacrifices that it takes to get there. I don't want to do that. I'm just happy with the way that I am, and I'm enjoying my life. You know what I mean? I don't know, and I'm a big believer in just being at peace with your body and loving your body where it's at and not constantly picking it apart and criticizing it. I know sometimes we do that in our head, but I really try and, I always try and catch myself. If I'm being a little critical of myself, I never verbalize it. I used to always complain about that, and now I never do. I think it's also become being a mother, especially to young girls. It's like, I don't want to emphasize that. I don't want them to hear mommy complain about her body or her weight, because how does that affect them and their self-confidence, you know? But also too, I believe that, you know, we really are what we think about all the time. And it's not that I walk around thinking I'm hot stuff all day long. I just don't walk around criticizing myself anymore. Okay, so let me kind of get into Instagram, and I'm gonna kind of answer some questions that you guys had for me. Let's see here. Okay, let's go down the list. Okay, so Lisa asks, what did you have to do to look like you did in the picture? Do you currently follow a special diet, keto or Whole30? So if you're not familiar, I posted a picture of me like at my most leanest 10 years ago, and that's what she's referring to. So she's asking what I had to do to look like that. So I was working out, you guys, like 2.5 to 3 hours every day. I was going to the gym twice. I was getting up at 4:45 in the morning to go do an hour of cardio. Then I was going to the gym after work to do an hour to an hour and a half of weight training. That's a lot. That's what I was doing. I was eating the same foods every single day, and that basically was like oats in the morning, chicken breast and asparagus, chicken breast and brown rice, flank steak and red potatoes. I mean, it was very simple, clean foods, but I was eating the same thing every single day for 12 weeks, okay? I wasn't drinking any alcohol. I wasn't eating any sugar. And as far as do I follow any special diet now, I don't. I don't know. I don't really do well on those types of diets, just because I don't really want to have to restrict myself from anything. I really want to be able to eat whatever I want. And sometimes that's alcohol, and sometimes it's cookies. You know, I just try and monitor. I can't follow diets like that. It's just not, I don't have the discipline today that I used to. It takes too much planning for me in my stage of life. I feel like I'm just trying to keep up with everything from school and family stuff and work. You know, there's so many, I literally lay in bed every night and I'm like, oh gosh, get up and write a note to remind yourself to send $10 to school tomorrow for Brooklyn's field trip or whatever. So it's like, I don't even have time to plan, and these types of diets take a lot of planning, so I don't have the time right now. Hi Lisa, I am very curious to know about how you live a typical Lisa week, fitness, diet, and lifestyle. Okay, so I think I'll do a video on this, kind of like my week of meals and fitness. Would you guys want to see a video like that? Let me know down below. Okay, what else do we have to say? I'd like to know about your suggestions about vitamins for fitness and also for beauty or health. Our skin and nails and hair, vegetarian please. That's from Tammy. Okay, Tammy, I would like to know about this too, actually. I used to take supplements, and now I don't, and it's one of those things that's been on my to-do list for 6 months. Like, okay, get on a good supplement and vitamin routine. Right now I'm just taking an omega supplement, and that's kind of it, and a daily vitamin. I don't really take anything else. I used to take L-carnitine. I used to take all these other things. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I could answer that better. I feel like this is something that I should consult with my friend who does wellness and nutrition and maybe kind of get her advice on what supplements to take, because I do think that I should be taking a vitamin supplement routine, but yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, so Jen asks, what was your daily diet, specific fitness plans you used when starting out? Okay, so starting out and what I'm doing today are very, very different, but I'm going to say for starting out, this is what I did. And again, I don't really know that I would recommend this today, knowing what I know about like toxins in our foods and clean eating and all that. I wouldn't really, recommend this, but this is what I did. So I'm just telling you what I did. I started out working out like 5 or 6 days a week. I was going to an all-women's gym just because I was comfortable there, and I was just doing like 30 minutes of cardio and then 30 minutes of like resistance training. And I was just hopping from one of the machines to the next because I didn't know anything about free weights. So I would just hop on the little machine that, had the little thing that you hold and do this, or the leg press, and I would do 30 minutes of that. When I started to lose the weight, it was because I was counting calories. I was eating about no more than 1,500 calories a day. I was really trying to keep it more around 1,300 calories a day. And I was eating 5 to 6 times a day. So I was eating little mini meals. So all of my meals were like, I would do like 3 meals a day that were around 300 calories. And then the rest of my calories, which were like 400, I would break up into like 2 or 3 snacks. So that's how I lost all the weight. Now again, I wasn't eating clean. I was eating stuff that I wouldn't eat today, but you know what, it worked for me to lose that weight. So that's what I was doing. Okay, my question is, so this is from Kathy. My question is, how do I handle a plateau in my weight loss? It's so frustrating when I know I'm eating, exercising, and staying on track, but the scale will not budge. That's when I get frustrated and I want to give up. If it's time to mix it up, I'm never sure what to do. Okay, Kathy, this is such a great question, and I don't really know if I'm qualified to answer it because I feel like there could be so many different reasons for a plateau. I think it would take someone really looking at exactly what you're doing, like what your workouts are and what your diet is like, to to kind of decide if there's tweaks that could be made to get to that next level. I know for me, and I'm just speaking for me now, when I reach a plateau, and I think too, it's like my healthy weight, like a weight that I can maintain and not feel like I'm killing myself to do so, is kind of where I'm at now, which is like 116 to 117. Anything for me to get below that, it really takes a lot of effort and a lot of uncomfortableness in terms of like, just restricting myself more than I am willing to do right now. But if I wanted to get there, I would really look at my diet and I would cut out all the sugar. I would cut out my alcohol. I would cut out, even probably I would kind of limit my fruits. And I would probably cut out my carbs, and I would probably increase my resistance training, because what some people don't know about resistance training and building muscle is that the more muscle that you have in your body, the more calories that you're burning at rest. So while cardio, and this is something that I have to remind myself because I love cardio. While cardio is really great because you're sweating and it's high intensity and you feel like you're burning more than like when you're standing there lifting a weight, right? What you're doing when you're lifting that weight is you're building muscle, which in turn is going to make your body burn more calories at rest. Where cardio is kind of just like you're burning all those calories in the moment. So if I were trying to break through a plateau, I might look at could I put more muscle mass on my body to help me get there? But I don't know, that's a hard question because I think there could be a lot of different reasons for a plateau, and you might be doing all of them perfectly right, and it might be like an underlying reason that you're not aware of. So it's hard for me to answer that question, Kathy. I'm sorry. I just try and be really careful about the advice I give on my channel, especially when it comes to like nutrition and health, because I'm not an expert and I don't want anyone to take my advice as like to override advice from like a true expert or, a doctor. So I just want to be very, very careful. Okay, so then I have one here. My question is long. I have a very difficult time trying to lose weight in my abdominal area. It's been challenging to say the least. I've had 2 C-sections, multiple abdominal surgeries, and also my thyroid removed over the course of 25 years. I exercise, cardio, power walking, light weights, faithfully 6 to 7 days a week. That's awesome. And I try to eat a sensible diet, but I admit I enjoy wine on the weekends and some dark chocolate. My doctors sympathize and say it's tough to lose in that area because of all the surgeries and also forced menopause on top of that. Do you have any tips for the abdominal area? I think you look fabulous. Thank you. I have trouble there too. I think since I had children, that has been my hardest area to get back to what it looked like before kids, and I've kind of accepted that it'll never look like that again. I've actually met with a couple of doctors because I had very separated ab, diastasis, whatever it's called. And yeah, my tummy's just flabby there, and you know, I can squeeze like this extra layer that I couldn't squeeze before. So it is the hardest part for me too. So I think that the first place that you could start, if you really wanted to cut that out. So to me, it sounds like you're doing everything right. I think that the one thing I would try, if it's really important for you to, like, you know, lose that weight or to tighten that area up, I think I would start by cutting out the wine and the chocolates on the weekends. And that sucks, you know, I'm just going to tell you that sucks. And I can't do that. So I'm just going to be happy with this little bit of, you know, mommy top. I don't call it a muffin top, I call it a mommy top. I'm just going to accept that I got a mommy top, and I'm going to enjoy my wine and I'm going to enjoy my chocolate. But if I were like really trying to kind of lose that, then I would pretty much cut it all out. I would cut out all the sugar and all the unnecessary bad carbs. So I would do that, and I would eat, you know, chicken breast and asparagus. Asparagus is a really great food to eat pretty often because it is a natural diuretic. It's going to make you lose excess water weight, and a lot of times we're all carrying that around, and sometimes that's just that extra pound or two that you can't seem to lose. It's just excess water weight, and we hold water weight for different reasons. One thing that I find interesting is that if you cut out foods that have a lot of chemicals in them or just really processed, you won't retain as much water. But one natural diuretic that will help you shed that is asparagus, and then also I like to add lemon juice in my water or drink warm water with lemon juice in it. That'll also help you kind of detoxify your body, which will in turn make you shed excess water weight. So I would try that. But yeah, unfortunately, I think if you're doing everything already so great and you still have that problem with that issue, I would look at everywhere that you can cut out. And then it kind of becomes a question of, do I really want that six-pack stomach, or do I want to be able to enjoy my weekends? You know, for me, I want to enjoy my weekends. I'll deal with my little tummy. You know, I'll be happy with my little tummy. Okay. Then Lisa asks, Lisa, I meal prep, exercise, and yet I cave to carbs and sugar way too often. How do you stay motivated and not cave to those yummy things? That's my struggle too, and I do at times. I think what I do is I really just try and limit myself to that, maybe, you know, a couple of times a month. I feel like if you're constantly craving that, then maybe you can look at what you're eating throughout the day that you're lacking. You know, maybe I think that when I know for me, eating more healthy fats really help me kind of curb those cravings. So I try and eat a healthy fat at every dinner. That's a lot of avocado, a lot of nuts, nut butters, an egg. I just try and make sure that I have some healthy fat at dinner, and then I notice that I won't be, for me that helps, and I won't really have the craving to eat a lot of sugar at night. So hope that helps. Okay, so I would love to hear how you combat cravings, etc., and your food choices and how to motivate yourself to exercise. I lose weight and then I gain it right back. It's so frustrating. So I think, you know, it's finding something that you enjoy, maybe finding a friend to work out with you and hold you accountable. You know, I think the way that I have been able to not kind of yo-yo is that I don't restrict myself too much. I think that when we go on these really restrictive diets, it's not something that you can maintain, and so what happens is you get to where you want to be, or you lose that weight, and then you're like, okay, I'm there, now I can just eat whatever I want, and I can stop working out, and then you gain it all back and sometimes more. So I think it's just like being like, okay, you know what, I don't have to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, let me just kind of have slow progress that is maintainable for me, that I'm not killing myself over. And then it becomes more of a lifestyle and less like such a sacrifice just to get to a certain size. I think that that's kind of what has worked for me, is that I don't try and restrict myself so much anymore. When I'm too restrictive, I end up binging. You know, the funny thing about that picture I posted on Instagram where I looked, you know, amazing, I'm just gonna say it, I looked amazing then. What's really funny, not funny actually, it's actually really sad, and I talk about this in my other video that I'll have linked below and in my blog post, but when I looked that way, I looked like the epitome of health, right? Everyone I knew was asking me for health and diet advice and workout advice, but I can probably say that that was the most unhealthy that I've ever been in my life. Because yes, I may have looked that way, but what people didn't know is that I was so restrictive that there were these moments of weakness and I would binge. I will never forget, I was working and I had finished that fitness competition. It was over, so I didn't have to follow this diet anymore. I could, you know, cheat. I remember being at my office desk. It was 10 a.m., okay? And I was sitting at my office desk and I got this craving for candy. And I got up from my office, got in my car, I drove to like Walgreens and I bought like 4 or 5 candy bars and I ate them in my car and then I walked back into work. That's terrible. I mean, that is sad. I mean, that's kind of what I did, you know what I mean? And then I would kill myself at the gym that night doing an hour of cardio and then, you know, just like killing myself, punishing myself for eating that. And that's not healthy. You know, for someone to go and buy 5 candy bars and eat them, like that is not healthy, you know, but that's what I was doing because I was so restrictive and I was working my body too hard and I wasn't fueling it the way that I should have. And that was kind of the price I paid. It actually took me a while to recover from that. I would say for a year or 2 years after that photo was taken, I really struggled with having a healthy relationship with food. You know, I would just be super restrictive and then I would go binge, and then super restrictive and then I would go binge. And, you know, I am so glad that I don't do that anymore. I was really miserable. So I don't know how I got on this topic, but I just want to say, like, I think that that's something that a lot of us women go through when we are so restrictive and so hard on ourselves. So, yeah, so I don't really encourage super restrictive diets because I just don't encourage them. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, your running routine. I'm a new runner and I've been trying to think about the food I put in my mouth. I notice my boys mimic everything I do. Okay, so my running routine. I'm not a huge runner. I mean, I'm a huge runner in the sense that I like to run every week. I probably run, you know, 2 to 3 times a week, 3 to 4 miles. So I don't really run more than 4 miles. I have a knee that really bothers me and I probably shouldn't be running, but I love it. And we have a beautiful place here in Austin called Town Lake that is just like, it's just my happy place. I am just so happy when I'm on the trails there. So yeah, 3 to 4 miles is kind of all I do. And then I do that a couple times a week. Okay, maybe talk about how and why finding a balance and being okay with where you're at is so important and maybe better. Oh, I love this. This is from Laura. I love this, Laura. Absolutely. You know, and I've already kind of been talking about it throughout this video, but you know, I feel like my weight loss journey when it started to where I'm at now is truly a journey. And I look at where I've been at different parts of these last 16 years and it's been, you know, up and down, up and down. And I don't mean my weight up and down, I mean my emotions and my relationship with myself and my relationship with my body. It's been up and down, up and down. And I think that what I have learned, and I feel like a couple of years ago was really a big turning point for me, actually probably when I had my first daughter, so that was 6 years ago, was a big turning point for me. Because for the first time in my life, I think I was really just happy with my body. I wasn't so critical of it anymore. I didn't walk around thinking I was like the hottest thing in the world, but I was just happy. I was content. You know, I didn't look in the mirror every day and criticize myself or complain about my weight or wish I was skinnier or, you know, and I had done that pretty much for the last, you know, 10 years before that. And I think it was because becoming a mother and, you know, once I was pregnant and I went through that and I gave birth, like I looked at my body in a completely different way. You know, I'm like, my body is amazing that it can do that. And I just respected it a lot more. But so I think that was part of it. I think also too, having children and, you know, just wanting to be a good example for my kids and knowing that every single thing that I do and say and the way that I live my life is they're learning from that. I don't know why I'm like choking up over here, but I think that our kids, oh my God. I think that our kids really learn from the way that we live our life. And I don't want my kids, my daughters, to grow up. I don't want them to grow up hating themselves, and I don't want them to grow up with self-esteem issues or feeling like they're not good enough. And so I think that, you know, that kind of motivated me a lot. I also think that, you know, I have been there. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am like super emotional over this. Whew. I also think that I have been there. You know, I have been a size 0 or 2 and 105, 107 pounds and 10%, 12% body fat. I've been there, okay? And I wasn't happy. In fact, I was so sad and so miserable. And so I know that being that size does not bring happiness, or being anything. You know, being rich doesn't bring happiness. Feeling like you're prettier, getting cosmetic surgery to look differently, it doesn't make you happy. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you think that those things will make you happy, it's kind of sad when you reach there and you realize, no, it doesn't, you know? So I love that comment, Laura, because it is important to be happy with where you're at. And I think too, a lot of us, not just me, I think we look back on photos of us, you know, 10 years ago or 5 years ago, whenever. We look back on photos where we remember not being happy with the way we looked. And we're here today looking back thinking, man, I looked great then. Why didn't I appreciate it? And another thing too, no one cares, you know? You know, and I still struggle with being in a bikini at the beach because my stomach is a little different than it was before I had kids. I still get so self-conscious about that. And it's so silly because if you think about it, I'm not sitting on the beach looking at every woman that walks by, picking apart her flaws. No, I'm not doing that. So why do I think that people are doing that to me? No one cares, right? No one cares. Live your life, love your body. Yeah, this I'm very passionate about. Laura, thank you so much. I could go on and on and on that particular topic. So anyway, I'm all about self-love and, you know, loving your body. And even if your body's not where you want it to be and you want to lose weight and you need to lose weight for health reasons or whatever, just appreciate the journey. You know what I mean? Just appreciate the journey and appreciate your body for what it does for you and what it can do. And appreciate every little pound that you lose. Just know that you're getting closer to where you want to be. So, you know, we're too hard on ourselves. We are too hard on ourselves. We need to love ourselves. And I think that social media sucks sometimes because, you know, sometimes you go through this rabbit hole where you're just looking on, you know, accounts of people that look to like they have this perfect life, this perfect body, this perfect life, the perfect clothes, the perfect house. And don't do that. If you do that and it makes you feel bad about yourself, you know, stop. Close it out and quit doing that because first of all, no one's life is perfect. No one's life is what it looks like on social media. But okay, I'm going off topic here. Okay, let's see. What else do I have? Okay, this video is getting very long. I feel like I should probably wrap it up soon. If you guys want to follow up to this or an Instagram live video, maybe, not Instagram live, or Instagram or YouTube live, I guess. If that's something you want to see, I think this might be a good way for me to start live videos because it's clearly something I can talk about and you guys have a lot of questions, so I might do that to follow up. Okay, let me just answer one more question and then I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, let me see. I've got a couple questions in here. And I want to, let me get to one more question. If I didn't get to your question, you guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this one's good. I would like to hear how you fit in time to exercise with your girls. I have 2 and 4-year-old boys, and I work out during nap time. That's awesome. But my 4-year-old doesn't really want to nap anymore. I feel too exhausted to wake up any earlier than I already do. I just feel like it's so hard to find the time for myself because I feel guilty that I should be doing housework or something for my husband or kids. Okay, so that's a really good one, and I can so relate to that. So for me right now, like I said, I hop on my bike between when my daughter gets on her bus and when I take my other one to preschool. And, you know, my bike is in our bathroom and I just put my youngest daughter here on the bed and I let her watch a cartoon show and I can see her while I'm on my bike. And she knows, don't get out of mommy's view. She knows she's got to stay right here when I'm on my bike. So, you know, it's going to be different for everybody, right? Different stages of life, different schedules. I think that if your son is with you all the time and you don't have him in a preschool or something, or when you don't have time to yourself, maybe find something you guys can do outside together. Sometimes I'll take my kids to the park and I'll let them play while I do a little exercise right there. So I'll do jumping squats, walking lunges, I'll do jumping jacks, I'll do mountain climbers, and I'll do that for like 20 minutes. There are a lot of awesome exercise apps. Beachbody has an exercise app. The Sweat app is really good. I have friends that do that and love that. And you could just open that app and do that workout at the park while your kids are playing. I mean, that's a great way. If you are a runner, you know, get a running stroller, take them running, or even walking. I think there's a lot of ways to incorporate exercise into, you know, into your day with your child. So those are a couple of suggestions I have. As far as feeling guilty, I can relate to that too. I used to be like that. Like I used to feel really guilty when I'd go to the gym on Saturday mornings. But I think that we as moms and as women, you know, I think women in general, we just feel guilty because we always feel like we have to serve other people. I think that we always feel guilty when we're serving ourselves, you know, and not other people. I think that that's just a part of being a woman, and especially a mom, is just kind of having that guilt. You know, if it's not having guilt for your children, you're having guilt to your husband or your job or whatever it might be, you're just feeling like you're not giving enough. And I think that plain and simple, what I've learned about guilt is that it's an unnecessary thing, you know? And I don't mean generally, like sometimes you do something wrong, you should feel guilty, I guess, but overall, generally speaking, guilt is just kind of a wasted emotion and it doesn't serve you. I think that for me, I remind myself that I am a better mom and a better wife when I am taking care of myself and I'm exercising. And so I look at that time as my time, and I give a lot to my family. And so I no longer feel guilty. I don't really allow myself to feel guilty for that anymore. You know, take that time, and I totally get not getting up early. I used to be an early riser, and now I'm like, yeah, no, I'm getting up at the latest that I can. So if you can't incorporate it into your day with your son, then I would say, you know, just make that time and talk to your husband about it and say, you know what, on Saturday mornings, I want to take a class at the gym, you know, for 1 hour. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, I'm going to feel a little guilty about it, and I need your help to not let me feel guilty. You know, don't let me, like, send me off happily and, you know, plan something with the kids, maybe ask him to plan something with the kids so that you don't, because I would always have this guilt, like, oh, I'm at the gym and they're just sitting there watching TV and we should be outside doing this or that. And so, you know, maybe ask your husband, like, hey, can you take the kids to the park for an hour while I do this or whatever. But overall, I think that you should not feel guilty. I think if you are feeling guilty, that obviously shows that you're a great mother and a great wife, and there's nothing to feel guilty about. You need to take care of yourself so that you can be the best mom and best wife that you can be. Okay, you guys, this was a very long and chatty video. I'm going to be really curious to see when I edit this if this even comes together smoothly or if it's just like, wow, all over the place. I really enjoyed filming this. I hope that you guys enjoy watching it. So follow-up videos that I want to do, if you'd like to see them, are kind of what I eat in a day and maybe kind of my weekly exercise routine. If that's things that interest you guys, let me know in the comment section below. I didn't answer every question. I'm so sorry about that, you guys. Thank you for sending them, though. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you guys so, so much. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!